Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Amit Moda, and today's topic I'm going to talk about along the lines of best dividend stock to hedge against inflation, or let's say somewhat growth, or how do we deal with this uncertain time? Because stock market been crazy. At one point, my this dividend plus growth used to be at 100% actually highest, but now I'm down at 47, so I bought more obviously. So let me start up by something that I actually heard over the weekend or past couple days. Everyone loves to make profit and they want to avoid losses. What do you make of it, right? When you lose 10, 22%, 10%, and or you win, let's say same amount, 10, 22%. So it's kind of very interesting mindset. It's basically, there's two thoughts, right? When you are winning, right, it's like a casino. It feels great, but when you lose, how do you feel? So my investing class at MBA level at GW just got done, and one of the topic that we actually talked about was market efficiency, and followed by behavioral, basically people's behavior and how much that dictates how people actually buy and sell. And there are a few of them that I'm gonna read it to you guys to just to go over, and then we'll talk about the stock. So those of you who have been following, let's say somewhat finance, you probably be familiar with the economical term semi-strong efficiency market, or strong market, or weak form of market, right? These are efficiency theory. All it means that when stock first gets announced and how much of a data is available, based on that, basically the price is justified. So let's say when you have a weak form, I'm just kind of reviewing before we get in more philosophical, I guess, and then we can take some practical. So when we have a weak form, right, we have past data that gets incorporated, and then when we have a strong form, all public information is included, and then when we have a semi-strong, we have public information and insider trading is taking place technically, right? And then these are technically your three types of your market, and then basically you and I are the investor, right? Since humankind, right, you probably heard, right, leave your emotion out the door when investing. I don't know when was the last time any of us were actually able to do it. It is very hard, okay? I try, I cannot run away from my emotions. It's very painful to see when you are losing money, right? But sticking to it is the key over the long period of time. So one of the things that we have is like conservatism biases, right? And then another one is regret avoidance, mental accounting, disposition effect, and then the representation biases. Let's go over these really quick, and then we'll go over the best way to kind of soak up the inflation and how we can cope with it. So when we have conservatism biases, right, we as an investor, we basically are very slow to update our belief when given any new evidence. Technically, that's where we should always strive to be in, because the more you react to anything, because you don't know if it's long term or short term, and the faster you react to any information is very dangerous until you have the full picture and full information. So this is actually good biases in my opinion is to have, or good trade like Warren Buffett, right? He's very conservative. Another one is a regret, right? Investor often are reduced to bear losses caused by their unconventional decision, right? We all have our own method of coming up how we, why do we buy something or why we don't. I have an example, like for example, a while back I bought, let's see, stock into what it was, Express, the company Express that makes clothing, and ever since I bought that, it's been over a year now. They just never went up, so that was a bit one of the meme stock. So we make a decision. That was because my biases was that I liked their clothing when I was in college, and so I was strongly familiar with their brand, and I just wanted to kind of thought I would make money, and then I didn't really much look into it. Mental accounting investor exhibit less risk tolerance in their retirement account or any other something that you have long. Like these are just, even if you're given all the information, you will still just take mental accounting and not take any risk when you actually should. And then investors are reduced to sell a stock with paper loss disposition effect. Right? These are just some of your what experts have basically identified ways of kind of more or less decision making or behavioral. This is still ongoing. Okay. Now let's do a little bit shift over to best way to kind of start to hedge against inflation, and then how these things that I just talked about, how did they actually apply into our decision making. So here I have dividend plus growth. Those of you, if you've been following me, mostly in almost every video I kind of show you my M1 finance. Obviously I don't have much money, unlike a lot of the YouTubers you've been watching. I have a very small account, and I over the years, in 1 year I have grown to almost $10,000 now. About a year ago I had about 3,000, right? And before that I started with basically $100. That was in 2019, so about 2 years ago, more than my 13. So since then I've been growing, and then that's kind of when I started my YouTube channel, and I really got involved in it. So here are my basically categories of different stocks that I believe that can get me the highest return, right? And this would be basically technically what you can say I choose to participate in the market, therefore they are more, I would say American stock market is more or less along the line of, they're semi strong, right? They're not really too weak, they're not too strong, but all public information is available regardless of how quickly correct it gets, right? Government does, SEC does a really great job of controlling it, insider trading and so on. So I would say we have semi-strong, and then from this actually let's look at how my decision biases has came in, right? I made decisions, certain one of them to keep, certain one of them to sell. Like for example, I'll give you this IT software services. I just added Alibaba. I got rid of Facebook from this particular holding because I believe Alibaba is way better than Facebook. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the best dividend, right? And hedging against inflation, right? Inflation, right? If you look at Microsoft, Apple, they both are your great companies. I don't think you would find anyone that doesn't want Apple phone. It's very rare. I'm pretty sure there are, or they're not. At least they're not top 10. Microsoft runs almost every single business, and they both are dividend pair and growth, and they're humongous, right? And you have Google. These are just growing. If you're solely looking for growth, right, I would say these two are. They have the very strong mode. Inflation cannot do anything because they have ability to raise their price and consumer will not question twice. Okay, so that's two, and then I'm gonna give you more. So let's go here. AI is the future. IBM is another great company. It's been traded down in the past, but now I think is a great buy, and I think they will dominate the future. In the then that you have Nvidia, any cloud computing and robotics, they are the best one. Palantir is actually a company that is very new, so unless you feel comfortable losing some money, I would recommend for some of you, but it will, in my opinion, will grow. I think I'm hoping. Right, semiconductor, right? We have Texas Instrument, Intel. These two are your dividend pair. Best way to hedge against inflation. These two basically runs our Intel's basically runs our semiconductor business, and Texas Instrument is same business. Qualcomm, so is AMD. Let me give you a couple more. Let's go here. Lithium battery. Lit is an lithium battery. It's basically one of those ETF. Great way to get your exposure out there. But I want to give you companies. So aristocrats. So look at here. This list right here, along with I'm gonna give you 10 more. V, ADP, McDonald, Pepsi, Walmart, Caterpillar, Clorox, Salmon William, Exxon, Cintas. These are great company if you want to hedge against inflation. These companies been around forever and they know how to make money, and I am betting that they will, even in the future, they will actually be really helpful when it comes to inflation, and they can quickly raise their price so that anyone who's looking to basically raise what about this is one of those no-brainer companies. Then we have food and beverage. From there we have Heinz, Darden restaurant. There's like 4 restaurants in one. Tyson Food, General Mill, Windows Entry. Amazing companies if you wanna again hedge for inflation. And then I think these ones are not. Let me show you. Okay, this one is strictly my king is strictly basically dividend. Cisco, Altaria, Federal Realty, Colgate. Yeah, Colgate, the one that you brush every day, right? It's one of those necessary stuff that we all gotta brush over, otherwise we're gonna stink. Coca-Cola again, Procter and Gamble, right? We consume 10 loads, crazy amounts of their products. So why not? Dove, 3M, Johnson and Johnson, Lowe's, right? These are just a sum of example best way to hedge against inflation, right? If you look at this year inflation's, it was about 6.8. And if you're not buying best company, right, the other way you could do is buy the dip when the market is down. Right now market is down. Technically you can almost buy anything and just wait enough, right? If you just give enough time, market should come up technically, and then you can take your leave. But if you're playing any type of investment, right, you want to be in long term, look at Warren Buffett. I don't think we all want to wait that long, but whatever your goal might be, wait for these 1 or 2 years at minimum, and then go from there. What else? One of the tip, let's say bonus, if you stick around this bar, I would say subscribe. But the tip that I want to give, look into hospitality business right now. I know mostly all of the investors are worried that these COVID-19 variants are continuing, but how long can this continue? You tell me, right? It's been over 3 years. I'm actually tired. I've actually taken a couple of vacations, but I'm sure this will get over it. So look into hospitality business like Hilton, Marriott, Southwest, Disney. Right, Disney actually has a theme park in these, and Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Expedia. Look into these stocks because right now is a great opportunity of time to get in and wait about 2 3 years when the pandemic is over, or whenever we reach herd immunity. Once everything is open, you'll like almost no brainer stocks, but you need to have patience and this much money to be able to hold it. All right, guys, this is all. I know this is about to be New Year, so thank you for being with my investing journey, and I hope you've been investing and you've been able to make decent return. I wish you and your family happy holidays. Thank you. Bye bye.